Okay, so I'm way out here in the middle of nowhere driving. I just dropped off somewhere in Newark, and I got a trip way up in the boonies, and not too far before I actually got to the place where I was supposed to pick someone up, they canceled the trip. So this is called Fairville. Fairville. Never heard of it. And I lived in and around this area for a while, but it's way out in the country. As you can see, there's some light snow on the side of the road. Nothing terrible. The roads are kind of salty looking because they've had so much salt and melt chemicals put down, and that makes everything easy to drive on, but it's also kind of dirty. It coats your car with this whitish substance that makes you have to go through the car wash quite often, and also it contributes to the rust of a vehicle. So this vehicle actually doesn't have a lot of rust on it. It was taken care of pretty well, but that doesn't mean it won't get that way. So now I'm on the way driving back towards Rochester. I've got quite a ways to go. I am pretty sure that on the way there, I will probably pick up a trip at some point. I get a little notification letting me know that I need to pick up, and if I don't get something before I get to the Rochester area, I will definitely get something when I'm in Rochester. There's busy trips there just waiting to be had. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am driving toward Rochester on an old road. I think the name of the road is Fairville Mapleview Road. I did know, but I don't know. Fairville Maple Road. Let me see if I can see this sign. Autistic person area. Oh, I didn't know they had signs for that. Let me see. Yeah, Fairville Maple Ridge Road is what the sign says. I would have showed you, but I would have had to disconnect my phone from the holder, and I'm too lazy to do all that. But yeah, that's the name. You see these old country barns and stuff out here. Some of these houses look like they're in disrepair. Some of them look okay. But yeah, this is the countryside. What Filipinos would call the provincial areas, or the provinces. Here, our areas are not called provinces, they're called states. And we are in the Finger Lakes region of New York State. A lot of people call it upstate New York. We're not actually upstate. We're more like western New York. About halfway between Syracuse and Buffalo, New York. A lot of people know about Buffalo because of the Buffalo Bills, and Buffalo is probably the second largest city in New York. New York City being the largest, but they're on opposite ends of the state. And New York is a big state. It's not the biggest, but it is a big state. And it's not that different looking when you drive out here than, say, driving somewhere in rural North Carolina or Virginia where I grew up. So it's not a lot different, really. But I just want everybody to kind of see this part of New York. Look at that old red barn. That's something I didn't see a lot in North Carolina and Virginia, but they have a lot of them here in New York State. Red barns and a lot of old homes, farms that have been owned for hundreds of years, centuries, since the 1700s. Some of these home places have been here. Back when it was very wilderness, and Native Americans still populated these areas. We have reservations in New York State now where many Native Americans live, and it's really a damn shame that white Europeans took all the native land and just sectioned them off like they did. And I say they because I was no part of that. You know, my ancestors may have had something to do with it, but, you know, I don't claim the sins of my ancestors. I separate myself from it because it's something that I never would have participated in. And there was a lot of white people that didn't agree with it either when it happened. But they were taught that Native Americans were savages and that, you know, this land was given to us by God. We had a divine right, manifest destiny to take over this continent and use enslaved black people from Africa to do it, which is a bunch of shit. But I pray to God that we will make progress in our relations with the natives and the African Americans, and that white privilege will cease to be a thing. But guess what? It is a thing, and it's not a good thing by any means. So, yes, that's what I think of when I drive through the countryside and see all this land. I think about how Native Americans used to live here, and they lived their lives here in peace. They had squabbles every now and then with other tribes, but they didn't try to commit genocide, you know. And now here we are, white people of European descent. I have other things in me besides white, but white is the dominant race within me. I have some African in me, but it's a smidgen. But it is detectable in my DNA, and I also have some Melungeon, if you want to look that up. It's kind of like a mix between Native American, African American, Creole, even like Portuguese, believe it or not. Look that up, Melungeon. My daughter discovered this. The great genealogist in our family, she discovered this. I'm so damn proud of my daughter and her intellect and her persistence. My daughter also discovered that through ancestry DNA that my father, he was not my biological father, which that was always a rumor within my family. Well, you know what? My dad was my dad. And my biological father, I don't know anything about him. I heard he was a drunk and he had a bad temper. Maybe that's why sometimes, you know, I have a bad temper or I'm grumpy sometimes. But I was never a drunk, thank goodness. Worst thing I was ever addicted to was sugar and nicotine, and I got off the nicotine 12.5 years ago. So now I'm trying to get off the sugar. And it's killing me, it really is. And if I die, I won't be able to continue to enjoy beautiful landscapes like this with the lovely snow as I'm driving. I won't be able to bring my dear love, Maricel from the Philippines here, which is her dream. She wants to see snow. A lot of my Filipino friends would love to see snow. For just a second, I've got to disconnect the mount and show you this to the left. This is apple orchards, and see how the tree limbs are down. They're downward. Here's some over here too. They're upward, but these over here are downward. That's because they're easier to pick when they're like that, so they groom them like that. So I'm way out here in the middle of Timbuktu, and yeah, there's a nice home house, all Christmassy out. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, this video is almost 10 minutes now. I'll probably have to upload it to ye old YouTube, and I don't know when I will be able to do that. I think today is the 10th. It may be the 9th of December. Yeah, I think today's the 9th. And right now it's 1:24 p.m. And I just wanted to make this short video of me driving in the apple orchard country of Western New York State. Take care and have a Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you more later. Bye-bye.